Today we got to talk about Spencer Rattler leading the way with the all Big 12 preseason ballot for media is in. We got to talk about it after the bumper.
Don't be cornering me. Hold up. Time. You gotta help me with that corner shit.
What's up, kinfolk? It's RJ Young. I am not on a step mill. Consider hitting the like and subscribe button because I upload a video every single day. It's always college football related, sports related. We have a good time. Today, we need to talk about Spencer Rattler being named Newcomer of the Year, according to a preseason poll that Big 12 media participated in. He is the first freshman of any kind since Buki to win that award. You'll remember Buki came in with lots of pomp, circumstance, five-star cornerback that they moved to safety to play nickel. He had some picks last year, but hasn't been what we expect him to be. I still say that dude needs to be moved back to corner where he gets to play the boundary, and he was really good in high school. And you got him playing a position that is really fit for Isaiah Simmons and an oversized linebacker, not for a diminutive, great cover corner. That's my soapbox. I'm sticking to that point. Rattler winning Newcomer of the Year, though, just underscores the amount of buzz around the former five-star quarterback and number one player for the quarterbacks in 2019, also Elite 11 MVP. Expect him to get over there and spin it. The guys like Trajan Bridges and Theo Weiss, Jaden Hazelwood when he gets back, Theo Howard when he gets back, Austin Stogner in the slot. You expect this offense to be pretty good, and there are a couple of offensive linemen that are on that preseason all Big 12 team for Oklahoma, including Crede Humphrey and Adrian Ealy. Crede Humphrey, of course, plays center. Adrian Ealy, right tackle, but maybe he'll play some left tackle because left tackle is the shakiest position on the offensive line for Oklahoma. You return Erik Swenson, who started 5 games, but R.J. Proctor, who came to Oklahoma by way of Virginia as a grad transfer and a guard, was forced into action over there at left tackle because Erik Swenson was getting beat like he stole something. There was a South Dakota defensive end destroying Erik Swenson last year. And yes, he was an All-American South Dakota defensive end. But it's FCS football versus big-time college football playoff football. You ought to win those. You ought to roll up that edge rusher, not get sunned by him. That's why many people are watching guys like Stacey Wilkins. Will he be able to challenge Erik Swenson for that left tackle spot? I want to see if Bray Walker gets an opportunity to do it. You also got Daryl Simpson still on campus, and he's a former All-American coming out of high school. You also got Finley Felix, who I want to know what we're doing with the JUCO offensive lineman guys. But that's getting into the weeds a little bit. Let's go down this list of all Big 12, preseason performers. Chuba Hubbard, to nobody's surprise, is named Big 12 Offensive MVP. He's coming off of a 2,000-yard rushing season where he was dynamic for Oklahoma State. Rushing for over 250 yards against Tulsa, a game I was there for. My alma mater just destroyed them. Went for nearly 300 against Kansas State and was pretty well unstoppable for the most part. Even in the game that Oklahoma pretty well had in hand when they went to Stillwater to beat up on an Oklahoma State team that was playing without Spencer Sanders as well, he still went for over 100 yards, and that felt like a win. That is how good Chuba Hubbard is. Defensive Player of the Year, Darius Sills, defensive lineman out of West Virginia. Great news for West Virginia, who I don't expect to be that much better than Kansas this year, but never say never. Neil Brown is able to build it, and if he can build it into something that's worthwhile, it helps this league with only 10 teams in it look a little bit better, all right? So let's go down the offense first as we talk about all Big 12. Sam Ehlinger at Texas, nobody surprised there. I don't expect Spencer Rattler to win that position because he hadn't played, or I should say, he has not started a game at Oklahoma. He's thrown all of 11 passes. A couple of them came in the Peach Bowl, garbage time. He'll have an opportunity to go head up with Sam Ehlinger in the Red River rivalry later this year. We get to play that game. And I am talking about this stuff as if we're playing football. That's what you're getting out of this segment. I do other segments where we're talking about the actual realities of this. This is not that segment. All right, Puka Williams at Kansas next to Chuba Hubbard. That's a really good choice. Puka Williams is wildly undervalued in the Big 12, and he's one of the best players nobody gives any credit to or talks about because he plays at Kansas. But he and Carter Stanley nearly had an upset of Texas in Darrell K. Royal Stadium on the day that Texas was honoring the 1969 national champion team, which also has the honor, dubious as it is, of being the last all-white championship team in college football at the Division I level. All right. Then we get Nick Lenners, at Kansas State playing fullback. Got fullbacks on the All Big 12 team in a league that runs spread. I mean, even the fullback at Oklahoma is like an H-back, but makes no sense to me. This is a spread league. This is a shotgun league. Like, why are we having a fullback on this depth? All right. Wide receivers, we got Andrew Parchment, who was the third head of that monster at Kansas, along with Puka Williams Jr. and Carter Stanley. I expect him to be pretty good this year. We also talk about Charleston Rambo, who is going to take on that Z position that was held by Hollywood Brown for a second straight year this year, and I expect him to get the bulk of the targets the way that CD did last year, the way that Hollywood did in 2018. And really, this is his time to lead. That receiving core is wildly talented, but it's also very, very young. And I expect Rattler to push the ball down the field like Kyler Murray did, like Baker Mayfield did, and push for 4,000 yards passing this season. That means that Charleston Rambo's going to have an opportunity to have a 1,500-yard receiving season and probably upward of about 15 to 20 touchdowns in a good year, right? But that's contingent on playing 12 games and then a championship game and then a college football playoff and hopefully winning the semifinal and then winning a championship game. All right. So over there, of course, Tylan Wallace coming off the ACL tear. He suffered at the first week of November. He was on pace to have one of the better seasons receiving for any player in FBS and would have challenged Jamar Chase for that Biletnikoff Award. Tylan Wallace is that good. You throw it up, he goes to get it. All right. Tight end Charlie Kohler out of Norman, Iowa State tight end. One of three last year that was really great. And this is the year for Kohler to pop off and really demonstrate to the NFL what he's capable of in an offense that has found itself. Brock Purdy threw for 3,982 yards last year. Matt Campbell will dial it up. They'll run spread. They'll throw the ball around. Got Breece Hall in the backfield. They'll be pretty good this season. Creed Humphrey at center. Easy choice there. Best center in the Big 12. One of the best centers in the country. Took a step back last year, hoping to take a couple steps forward this year. Show everybody that he is a first-round selection as an interior lineman. It's a really hard thing to do, but he can do it. Adrian Ely, who I mentioned, at that right tackle spot or left tackle spot. Either way, you know what you're getting out of Ely. Dominant dude when he's able to play and when he's healthy. Tevin Jenkins at Oklahoma State. This is the year for him to get it going as well. Dynamic player coming out of high school. I really want to see him progress. I think in the second year, with having the same offensive line coach, Charlie's going to get it going, all right? Charlie knows how to coach him up. He's going to get Tevin Jenkins on the right track, and we know that that's one of the real reasons that he was brought into Oklahoma State is they needed somebody to solidify their offensive line, to try to get them in a great position to win some football games with Secretary in the backfield. They got Ali Dar affirmed in the backfield. They want to run him. All right. Moving to Sam Cosby, who might be the most athletic offensive lineman in this entire conference. That dude was catching like swing passes for touchdowns against West Virginia. Sam Cosby, Herb Hand, gonna try to get it on and going. I understand. I get it. So, man, get it in, Sam Cosby, who could be a first-round selection a la Creed Humphrey if he has a good season at left tackle. Jack Anderson at Texas Tech. It's all 6'5", 320 pounds of him. In his first year at Texas Tech, we're talking about Matt Wells putting Jordan Brooks into the first round of the NFL draft. Give that some thought, okay? That's Keith Patterson's Jordan Brooks. I never thought I would have good things to say about Keith Patterson after what he did at TU. But shocker there, we could be talking about another guy getting drafted very high. Maybe it's Jack Anderson out of Texas Tech. Gabe Burkich, who has still not missed a field goal. Yeah. He's good. Joshua Youngblood out of Kansas State as your kick return, punt return guy. Maybe Trey Brown has something to say about that this year. Maybe TJ Pledger does as well. I think that with Shane Beamer permanently taking over the special teams, it's going to be a lot better than it has been. It's no shade to Jay Boulware, but it did get better when Shane Beamer was able to carry some of that load. At defense, we started the defensive line. Jaquan Bailey is here again out of Iowa State. He's a great player. I can't wait to watch him play, especially with John Haycock and that really interesting three-man front they run where it looks like they drop 8 and put each other into zones and they tackle well in space. It's a good football team. Wyatt Hubert at Kansas State helped lead the upset against Oklahoma in Manhattan, 48-41. Gave up a bunch of points, but they said, why not us to start the game? And Hubert was loud about it. I remember getting beat down when we went down to Norman. I don't want that to happen again. They can be beat, and they beat them. Eli Howard at Texas Tech, who many Oklahoma fans will remember for the cheap shot that he took on Kennedy Brooks, didn't take Brooks out of the game, but Howard is a good defensive end. He deserves to be on this list. Darius Stills, of course, Defensive Player of the Year. Linebackers, we got Terrell Bernard at Baylor. Now, this is going to be interesting to me, but this change in defensive philosophy with Dave Aranda not just being the head coach, but being defensive play caller, he's going to install his 3-4. We'll see how Bernard figures into that. Garrett Wallow at Texas Christian. Man, if Marcel Brooks gets healthy and you have an opportunity to put him on the same football field with Garrett Wallow, they're going to be great. He's an outstanding player. Joseph Asai is going to move to a more jack edge rusher position at outside linebacker. He's on this list as well for Texas. I'm excited to see what they look like in Chris Ash's first year as they go to a match quarter set. I expect him to have a big role in how they choose to blitz and how they choose to use him as a robber. He's tremendously athletic. Greg Eisworth at Iowa State, also defensive back. Also really, really good. He deserves to be on this list. Should have been on this list last year. Kobe Harvell-Peel. Harvell-Peel is, for Oklahoma State, what A.J. Green was last year. He has the opportunity to be their best safety, their best defensive back, especially now that Malcolm Rodriguez is permanently playing inside linebacker. Trayvon Moehrig out of TCU. Of course, defensive backs in Texas Christian, they go together. Deshaun Jameson at Texas. That's going to be interesting because, wow. Yeah. All right, and Caden Stearns. Of course, I've been keeping my eye on Caden Stearns for the past 3 years. If he can make it through an entire season without breaking, he's going to be great. He's going to be good. I'm expecting to hear his name called quite loudly. All right, that is it for me. Doses.